Our VFL Pies beat the second place Southport Sharks, 2 wins in a row. Let's get into it. Coming off that sort of adrenaline from Charlie West's 6 goals and the goal after the siren last week against the Zebras, the Pies went up to Queensland to take on the second place Southport Sharks, and it was a really, really good game. Like, the first quarter didn't go our way. Southport kicked the first 3 goals. Our new boy, Roan Steele, kicked a goal to sort of get us back into the game. But we went into that first quarter a little bit down. And then after quarter time, it was pretty much all Collingwood in the way that we were transitioning and defending really well. But if you look on the stat sheet and on paper, it was all Southport. So it was a weird game, but we ultimately got the win.
And again, the running carry from both these sides is pretty good early. Mitchell gave the handball off. That's a better kick to half forward. Now they're off and running Collingwood. Rain into an open goal. It's there. Well done to Collingwood.
Southport almost had 200 more disposals than the Pies and almost 100 more marks. They really were controlling the ball when they had it, but it was when Collingwood had the ball in transition or in on intercepts is when we really played our game. And, you know, unlike the AFL seniors where it's a bit of rope-a-dope, the Collingwood side, you know, with all those VFL players in there, they have to really, like, fight for possession. And you can see that Southport had it for most of the game. But guys like Joel Cochran absolutely stood up. I thought he was, this was probably his best game for the club, in my opinion. I think he had about 14 intercept possessions. At halftime, he had 7 intercept possessions, took a bunch of intercept marks as well, really held down the back line, and he was, you know, setting up rebounds from 50 and inside 50 as well. He was pushing up the ground because they are trying him on the wing sometimes. But another guy that did really well was Iliro Smit. In training, I said that he was playing in the back line or training with the backs. We got to see that fully for a whole game today. Goal line tackles, marks in the back line. He looks a natural down back, and for a kid that's 2 meters tall, we could find a diamond in the rough in the back line. So that's something to watch for the rest of the season. I'm actually really, really excited about that.
Goes by hand over the top there to Charlie Rowe. Rowe now, again, a kick to no one in particular, just a kind of defence. And he finds Ben DeVolf. I think Collingwood put an extra man in defence when Southport were coming forward, so it's something the Sharks need to keep an eye on.
Collingwood now through Smit.
After half-time, Southport kicked the first goal, but we were able to get the game back on our turn, scoring 3 goals, and we never really looked back. A couple of goals in the last quarter to go on and win the game, and it was just a great away win against a team on top of us on the ladder. Of course, that at the time we were playing, they were second, we were 8th. The VFL team is just rolling along very, very, very nicely.
Occasion.
Oh, he's gone.
Brown. No, and he is gone too. Joe Kennedy, the tackle was strong there by Joshy Murphy. Getting some treatment on that beneath us. Josh Murphy, though, has a set shot and has put it through, so well deserved after attacking the pressure they put on Southport so far.
And like I said, despite Southport's really strong start to the day, they just couldn't keep up with our defensive pressure and just our transition. And it filters down from the AFL side down to the VFL side. And it's these AFL listed players that, yes, are standing up. And I'll talk a little bit about a couple of them later. But it's also these incredible VFL players who are just not only getting on the score sheet, but are playing like they should be in the AFL. You know, kids like Kennedy, Mahoney, Murphy all kicked 2 goals where the AFL listed players weren't even kicking multiple goals. So shout out to Andy Odom for what he's doing with the team.
10 goals, 6 for the season. Tough one. This one's going to allow for a bit of breeze, but the umpire goes straight back, and that's a big one for the Magpies and plenty of crowd support, as you can hear. They move to a 10-point lead now, 9-12-66, their equal biggest lead for the game.
So this is what you watch my VFL reviews for. You want to know how the AFL listed players are going. Now, Tom Mitchell, I can confidently say has got his aura back. Look at these stats, right? 28 disposals, 14 of those contested, 8 clearances, 4 tackles. This guy needs to come in against Carlton next week. Now, we know that Carlton like to play a bit of a contested rugby-style sort of game. Tom Mitchell will be that guy. I need to see him play. He's been playing pretty much at AFL level the last 3 or 4 weeks in the VFL. But today, you could see that his confidence and his aura was back. Talked about Roan Steele. He had 19 disposals, 8 intercepts. And then Will Hayes, he did go off with a little bit of an injury, but came back on heavy strapping around his ankle. But I thought he had a great second half. Didn't do much on the score sheet, but I thought he pressured really well. He presented really well, especially for a smaller sort of guy. Puts his head over the ball, and I love the way he goes about it. Mason Cox didn't get on the goal sheet. What I found Mason Cox doing a lot, though, was if he couldn't mark it, he was literally just tapping it down to the crummers and the people sort of, or the players sort of around him. It was a bit of a different role than I've seen him play before. But yeah, again, if you want Mason Cox to be taking marks and kicking goals in the AFL, if that's his quota, he just didn't meet it today. But he was doing other things that were really nice. Talked about Joel Cochran, how I thought it was his best game for Collingwood. Jacob Ryan, unfortunately, went off with an injury and didn't come back on. So he was pretty much doing a lot in that first quarter. Came off with an injury, and we just didn't see him for the rest of the day. So that's very, very disappointing because I thought he's just had a really good season so far. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious, and they're just being really precautious with it.
Running for, he's just wanting to time the pass there, and he does so beautifully, Cochran. And Harry Marnie's taken the mark for Collingwood.
But that's pretty much it for this review. It was a bit of a weird day. A couple players weren't firing, but some players were. And just the weirdness of, Southport having most of the ball, all the possession, and then us being just so good at intercepting whenever they went inside the 50, or just our tackles inside the 50, our pressure around the ground and the transition. We were able to get over the top of them because of that. And when your VFL team is firing, it really does help the AFL squad out. But I'd love to see the development of these guys. Iliro Smit as a backman is blowing my mind right now, and I can't wait to see him go about it for the rest of the year, and hopefully he nails down this spot, because that would be incredible. An absolute tall backman. Has the mongrel in him. If it gets a bit bigger, oh my God. Watch out. But if you watched the VFL game, let me know your thoughts down below. Who was your favorite? Do you think Tom Mitchell comes into the game, into the AFL next week? Let me know your thoughts down below. Until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.